Every once in a while, I come across something that makes me pause, really pause. And today's topic is one of those things, because when it comes to magnesium glycinate, one of the most popular supplements for sleep, stress, muscle recovery, and overall health, many people are taking it completely wrong. And if you're one of them, the consequences could be serious. In fact, taken the wrong way, magnesium glycinate can throw your heart rhythm off balance, drop your blood pressure too low, or even interfere with the very systems it's supposed to support. So today, I want to walk you through what's really happening when you take magnesium glycinate, the mistakes that make it dangerous, and how to use it in a way that helps your body thrive, especially if you're over 50. Let's start with this. After age 50, men face a set of challenges that are often invisible, changes that sneak up slowly but affect everything from energy and sleep to blood pressure, heart rhythm, and muscle recovery. You might start feeling more fatigued in the afternoon. Sleep becomes less refreshing. Recovery after exercise takes longer. And sometimes, even a small meal or a cup of coffee feels different. Maybe you feel jittery or drained afterward. That's because your metabolism, hormone balance, and cellular repair mechanisms start to slow down. And one of the key minerals that keeps all of those systems running smoothly is magnesium. Now, magnesium is a cofactor for over 300 enzymatic reactions in your body. It's essential for producing energy, supporting your nervous system, and maintaining steady heart rhythm and blood pressure. But here's the catch. By the time most men hit their 50s, magnesium levels are already dropping. Why? Well, a few reasons. First, our diets change. We eat fewer whole foods, fewer nuts, seeds, and leafy greens. Second, as we age, our digestive system becomes less efficient at absorbing magnesium from food. And third, certain medications, like those for blood pressure, acid reflux, and diabetes, can actually flush magnesium out of the body faster. That's why so many men in their 50s and 60s are turning to magnesium supplements. And of all the forms, magnesium glycinate is one of the most popular because it's gentle on the stomach and easily absorbed. But that convenience comes with a big warning sign, one that most people never see. See, magnesium glycinate isn't just magnesium. It's magnesium bound to glycine, an amino acid that acts on your nervous system. Now, glycine can be calming. It helps promote relaxation, supports deeper sleep, and can even reduce anxiety. But when you combine it with magnesium, which also relaxes your muscles and nervous system, that effect can become too much for some people, especially if you take it at the wrong time of day or in combination with certain other supplements or medications. Let me give you an example. Imagine you take your magnesium glycinate first thing in the morning, maybe with your coffee, or before heading out for work. You think you're doing something great for your body, right? Supporting your energy, heart health, and focus. But instead, you might find yourself feeling unusually tired, lightheaded, or even anxious by midday. That's because magnesium glycinate's relaxing properties, which make it great at night, can actually dampen your alertness and lower your blood pressure when you need energy the most. On the other hand, if you take too high a dose in the evening, especially right after a heavy meal or alongside alcohol, it can cause your blood sugar and pressure to dip too low overnight, potentially leading to dizziness or irregular heart rhythms. I've had patients describe waking up at 2 or 3 a.m. with their heart racing or feeling like they can't catch a deep breath. And it turns out it wasn't their heart that was the issue. It was their timing. Now, here's something else to consider. Magnesium doesn't work in isolation. It interacts with calcium, potassium, and vitamin D, and that balance is delicate. When magnesium levels suddenly spike, calcium levels can drop inside your cells, and that can throw off your heart rhythm. And if you're already taking vitamin D supplements, especially high doses, it can further shift that balance. That's why I always tell people, it's not just what you take, it's how and when you take it. Your body's biochemistry runs on timing. Your cells follow circadian rhythms, tiny clocks that regulate when your hormones, enzymes, and minerals are most active. So taking magnesium glycinate in harmony with those rhythms can make all the difference between healing and harm. Now, if you're over 50, your circadian rhythms start to drift a bit. Melatonin, the sleep hormone, decreases. Cortisol, your alertness hormone, becomes less predictable. And your digestive efficiency changes too. So, the right time to take a supplement at 30 might not be the right time at 60. And that's the part most people, even some doctors, don't talk about. Magnesium glycinate, if taken too early, can suppress your natural energy curve. If taken too late, it can interfere with your body's nighttime repair cycle. And if taken in combination with the wrong foods, like calcium, rich dairy, caffeine, or alcohol, it can block its absorption or amplify its sedative effects. This is why it's so important to personalize your approach. There's no one size fits all with magnesium. In the next part, I'll show you how to find your body's natural magnesium rhythm, when to take it for best absorption, which combinations to avoid, and how to recognize the subtle warning signs your body gives before things go wrong. But before we go there, I want you to remember this one simple idea: magnesium glycinate is powerful, but power requires precision. Used the right way, it can calm your body, improve your sleep, and support your heart. Used the wrong way, it can do the exact opposite. So stay with me, because in part 2, we'll dive deep into the timing traps that most people fall into and how to fix them safely. All right? Let's dive deeper into what I call the timing traps with magnesium glycinate, because this is where most people, even the health-conscious ones, go wrong. When I talk about timing, I'm not just referring to morning or night. I'm talking about aligning magnesium intake with your body's biological rhythm, your meals, and your lifestyle patterns. Your body runs on a clock. Every organ, every cell follows a rhythm, and magnesium plays a key role in that rhythm. In younger adults, magnesium levels tend to fluctuate naturally throughout the day, higher in the morning when you need energy, lower in the evening as your body winds down. But as you age, that pattern starts to flatten. Your body becomes less efficient at shifting gears from active to restful mode. That's one reason so many men after 50 find it hard to get deep sleep, even when they feel tired. Magnesium can help with that, if you take it in harmony with your body's own tempo. Let me explain. If you take magnesium glycinate in the morning, especially on an empty stomach, your body absorbs it rapidly. You might think that's a good thing, but in reality, it can cause a few problems. Magnesium is a muscle relaxant, not just for your skeletal muscles, but for your blood vessels too. That means it can lower your blood pressure temporarily. If you're already on blood pressure medication or your hydration is low, that drop can make you dizzy or fatigued. And that's why some people say, I tried magnesium, but it made me tired all day. They took it at the wrong time for their body. Now let's talk about taking magnesium glycinate with meals. Many supplement labels suggest taking it with food to avoid stomach upset, and that's reasonable. But not all foods are equal partners. If you take magnesium glycinate with a calcium-rich meal, like yogurt, milk, or cheese, those minerals compete for absorption in the gut. Both use the same transport channels, so you'll absorb less magnesium overall. The same thing happens if you combine it with high doses of iron or zinc supplements. So, if you're taking a multivitamin or separate minerals, separate them from magnesium by at least 2 hours. Another mistake I see is people taking magnesium glycinate right after alcohol or before bed following a large dinner with wine. Alcohol increases magnesium loss through the kidneys, so the supplement you just took might end up being wasted. Or worse, it might intensify dehydration and cause an electrolyte imbalance overnight. So, what's the best time to take magnesium glycinate? For most men over 50, the sweet spot is in the early evening, about 1 to 2 hours before bed, ideally after a light meal. That timing helps your body use the magnesium's natural calming properties to prepare for rest without interfering with alertness during the day. But there's a nuance here. Magnesium glycinate has a dual phase effect. It first calms your nervous system, then slowly supports muscle repair and cellular restoration while you sleep. If you take it too close to bedtime, your body might not fully absorb it before you lie down, and you could wake up groggy or foggy in the morning. That's why taking it about 90 minutes before bed works so well. It allows your digestive system to process it, your blood levels to rise gently, and your brain to ease into its natural sleep cycle. Now, there's something else we have to consider: the dosage. More isn't better when it comes to magnesium. Many over-the-counter products contain 400 to 500 milligrams per serving. But depending on your diet, you might already be getting 150 to 200 milligrams from food. For most men, especially over 50, a supplemental dose of 200 to 300 milligrams per day is usually enough to restore balance. If you go much higher than that, you risk disrupting the balance of calcium and potassium inside your cells. And that's where trouble begins, because the electrical activity of your heart depends on a very delicate ratio between those three minerals. Throw it off, and you might feel irregular heartbeats, palpitations, or even shortness of breath. I've had patients tell me, "I started magnesium for sleep, and it worked great for a week. Then suddenly, I felt my heart racing." That's not coincidence. That's imbalance. If that happens, it doesn't mean magnesium is bad for you. It means your body's timing and dosage need adjustment. You see, the way magnesium interacts with your cells changes throughout the day. In the morning, your body prioritizes magnesium for energy production and muscle activation. In the evening, it shifts toward relaxation and repair. So, if you flood your body with magnesium at the wrong time, you're sending mixed signals to your system. Here's an analogy. It's like trying to dim the lights at noon. It just doesn't match what your body needs in that moment. Now, there's another layer that often goes unnoticed: the interaction with vitamin D and calcium supplements. Many men over 50 take vitamin D3 to support bone health, which is excellent. But vitamin D increases calcium absorption. If your magnesium levels are low, that extra calcium can build up where it shouldn't, like in arteries or soft tissues. That's why magnesium and vitamin D need to be balanced. If you take vitamin D in the morning, that's the best time. Then take magnesium glycinate in the evening. They'll complement each other instead of clashing. And if you're someone who takes both magnesium and K2 SARS, which helps guide calcium into the bones and out of arteries, then spacing them properly becomes even more important. K2 and magnesium work in synergy, but they don't need to be taken together at the same hour. Now let's address something subtle: hydration. Magnesium helps regulate electrolytes in your body, but it can't do that if you're dehydrated. When you take magnesium without enough water, your kidneys have to work harder to maintain the right mineral balance. Over time, that can lead to cramps, weakness, or even kidney strain. So, every time you take magnesium glycinate, make sure you drink a full glass of water. You'd be surprised how often fatigue, lightheadedness, or headaches people blame on supplements are actually caused by simple dehydration. Now, I know this all sounds like a lot of detail, but your body's internal chemistry is built on balance, and balance depends on timing. To recap the essentials so far, without turning it into a checklist, think of it like this: take magnesium glycinate when your body is winding down, not gearing up. Take it with light food, not heavy meals or dairy. Space it away from vitamin D, calcium, or iron supplements, and always stay hydrated. Because when magnesium is taken properly, it doesn't just help you sleep. It helps your body repair itself from the inside out. It helps your cells recharge, your heart maintain rhythm, and your brain clear out the byproducts of the day. In the next part, I'll share how lifestyle choices, things like stress, caffeine, and even the time you exercise, can influence how your body uses magnesium, and why ignoring those factors can turn even a good supplement into a bad one. Stay with me. Part 3 is where everything starts to connect. Now that we've covered timing and dosage, let's talk about something equally important: the lifestyle factors that either amplify or completely cancel out magnesium's benefits. Because here's the truth: you can take the best quality magnesium glycinate in the world, but if your daily habits are working against it, you'll barely feel a difference. And that's what I see with so many men after 50. They're doing the right things, eating better, taking supplements, trying to stay active, but they're unknowingly sabotaging their results through small, daily patterns. Let's start with stress. When your body is under stress, physical, emotional, or even mental, it releases cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones prepare your body for fight or flight, but they also trigger the loss of magnesium through urine. In other words, the more stressed you are, the faster you deplete your magnesium reserves. That's why people under chronic stress often complain of tight muscles, headaches, insomnia, or even digestive issues. All signs of low magnesium. Now imagine this: you take magnesium glycinate at night hoping to relax, but the next day you're back in the same high stress environment with your body constantly burning through that magnesium. That means you're never actually building up your levels. You're just trying to refill what's being drained every day. So one of the most powerful things you can do to make magnesium work better is to manage stress. Not just with meditation or breathing, but through simple daily choices. Taking short breaks during work, walking outdoors, and avoiding constant digital noise all help reduce cortisol. Even 5 minutes of deep breathing before taking your magnesium in the evening can actually enhance its calming effect. Now, let's talk about caffeine. Many people love their morning coffee, and that's perfectly fine in moderation. But caffeine acts as a mild diuretic, which means it causes your body to lose magnesium faster. If you drink several cups of coffee throughout the day, you're basically washing away some of the magnesium your body needs to keep calm and focused. Here's something interesting. Men who drink caffeine later in the afternoon often sleep poorly, and they blame it on age or stress. But it's often magnesium depletion at play. The caffeine not only keeps your brain alert, but also lowers your magnesium levels, making it harder for your nervous system to transition into a restful state. So, if you're taking magnesium glycinate for better sleep, limit caffeine to the early part of the day, ideally before noon. That way, your body can restore its mineral balance naturally in the evening. Next, exercise. One of the most overlooked factors when it comes to magnesium. Physical activity is incredibly beneficial, but it also increases your body's demand for magnesium. When you exercise, your muscles use magnesium to contract and then relax. You also lose magnesium through sweat. That's not a bad thing. It just means timing matters even more. If you work out in the morning, taking magnesium glycinate right after exercise may actually slow your post-workout recovery because it's too calming when your body is still in energy mode. But if you exercise in the late afternoon or early evening, magnesium glycinate about an hour after your workout can help relax your muscles, reduce soreness, and support overnight repair. Now, there's another subtle but powerful interaction: your diet. Modern diets are often high in processed foods, sodium, and sugar. These create an imbalance that makes it harder for magnesium to stay in your system. For example, too much sodium causes your kidneys to excrete magnesium. too much sugar increases insulin, which pulls magnesium out of your cells. That's why, even with supplements, people remain deficient. Not because they're not taking enough magnesium, but because their diet keeps pushing it out. The solution isn't complicated. Focus on magnesium-rich whole foods like spinach, almonds, avocado, pumpkin seeds, and black beans. When you eat these foods during the day, your evening magnesium supplement works with your diet, not against it. Now, let's touch on hydration again, because it's not just about drinking water. It's about electrolyte balance. If you drink a lot of plain water, but don't replenish minerals, you can actually dilute your electrolytes. That means even if you take magnesium glycinate, your body might not retain it efficiently. So instead of overhydrating, aim for steady water intake throughout the day and include small amounts of minerals, either through foods or balanced electrolyte drinks without added sugar. One thing that often surprises people is how strongly sleep quality and magnesium interact in both directions. You already know magnesium promotes better sleep, but poor sleep also depletes magnesium. When you sleep badly, your stress hormones stay elevated, your inflammation rises, and your magnesium stores drop faster. It's a cycle that can either build your health or break it. So, magnesium glycinate becomes not just a supplement, but part of a larger lifestyle rhythm, a 24-hour cycle of giving your body what it needs at the right time. Now, let's address a hidden danger: combining magnesium glycinate with other calming supplements without realizing it. Many people also take melatonin, L-theanine, or herbal sleep aids at night. While each can be safe on its own, combining them can amplify sedation to a dangerous degree, especially in older adults. Your heart rate and blood pressure can drop lower than normal during sleep, which might leave you dizzy or weak in the morning. That's why I always tell my patients, if you're taking magnesium glycinate, keep it simple. Don't layer multiple relaxation aids at once. Let magnesium do its work naturally. You'll notice something remarkable when you give your body consistency. When you take magnesium at the same time each evening, hydrate well, manage stress, and avoid caffeine late in the day, your energy in the morning improves, your mind feels clearer, and your body recovers faster. You start to feel more in rhythm. That's your biology realigning itself. And it's not just about supplements. It's about restoring the balance your body once had naturally. Because the truth is, magnesium glycinate isn't a shortcut or a magic pill. It's a tool, a way to restore harmony to systems that have drifted out of sync over time. In the next part, we'll talk about the warning signs that you're taking magnesium glycinate the wrong way. The red flags your body gives before real problems appear, and how to correct them safely before they turn into health risks. If you've ever felt that your supplement routine might be doing more harm than good, part 4 is going to be crucial. Let's now turn to something every person taking magnesium glycinate needs to understand: the warning signs. Your body is incredibly intelligent. It rarely goes from healthy to danger overnight. Instead, it gives you small signals, subtle changes in how you feel, sleep, or function, long before a real problem develops. The challenge is learning how to recognize those signals before they escalate. When magnesium glycinate is taken correctly, it supports balance, calm energy during the day, restful sleep at night, steady blood pressure, and smooth muscle function. But when it's taken incorrectly, the wrong dose, timing, or in combination with the wrong substances, that balance starts to tip. The first warning sign is often unusual fatigue. You might think magnesium would boost your energy, but remember, it's a natural relaxant. If you take it too early in the day or in too high a dose, your nervous system stays too relaxed for too long. You might find yourself yawning mid-morning, struggling to focus, or needing that second cup of coffee sooner than usual. That's not your body needing more magnesium. That's a sign you've taken too much or at the wrong time. The second warning sign is muscle weakness or heaviness. This one can be confusing because magnesium is known to prevent cramps. But when levels get too high in your bloodstream, calcium can't enter your muscle cells properly, and that leads to weakness instead of strength. It might feel like your legs are heavy when climbing stairs or like your grip isn't as firm as usual. The third warning sign is irregular heartbeat or palpitations. This is one of the most serious signs that your electrolyte balance, magnesium, calcium, and potassium, is off. Magnesium regulates how calcium moves in and out of heart cells. Too much magnesium or too little calcium can disrupt that rhythm. You might feel a flutter in your chest or a skipped beat, especially when you're lying down. If that happens, you should always get checked by your doctor, because your heart is the first organ to reflect mineral imbalances. The fourth warning sign is low blood pressure or dizziness. Because magnesium relaxes blood vessels, it naturally lowers blood pressure slightly. But when you combine magnesium glycinate with blood pressure medication, alcohol, or dehydration, your pressure can drop too low. You might feel lightheaded when standing up or experience blurred vision for a few seconds. That's your body saying, "Hey, this combination is too strong for me right now." Another common but overlooked sign is gastrointestinal upset, loose stools, or an unsettled stomach. Although magnesium glycinate is gentler than other forms, a high dose or taking it on an empty stomach can still cause digestive changes. This happens because your intestines pull in more water to balance the concentration of magnesium. It's your body's natural way of regulating absorption. If that happens, don't ignore it. Just lower the dose or take it after a small meal instead of before. Now, one of the more subtle but important signals is poor sleep quality despite supplementation. You might think magnesium isn't working, but the real issue is usually timing. Taking it too close to bedtime can delay its absorption, and your body might still be processing it while you're trying to fall asleep. That can cause restless sleep or vivid dreams, especially in sensitive individuals. The fix is simple. Take magnesium glycinate 90 minutes before bed instead of right before lying down. That small shift can make all the difference. Let's also talk about combination errors. Something I see too often. If you're taking vitamin D3, calcium, and magnesium glycinate all together, that can cause a tug of war inside your cells. Vitamin D increases calcium absorption, calcium competes with magnesium, and magnesium regulates both. If you take all three at once, your body can't decide which process to prioritize. Absorption drops for all of them. The result: you end up thinking your supplements don't work, when really your body just needed a schedule. Here's a better pattern. Take vitamin D3 in the morning with breakfast, calcium lye if you need it at midday with food, and magnesium glycinate in the evening about 90 minutes before sleep. That spacing keeps your internal chemistry in rhythm and reduces the risk of interference. Now, there's another warning sign people rarely link to magnesium: mental fog or confusion. When magnesium levels rise too quickly, especially from supplements, it can temporarily affect your brain's electrical balance. You might feel slower to think, forgetful, or disconnected for a few hours after taking it. That's a sign you need to reduce your dosage or slow down supplementation. Let your body adjust gradually. In older adults, this effect can be stronger because the kidneys clear magnesium more slowly. So, if you're over 60, it's important to have your kidney function checked before starting high-dose magnesium. Healthy kidneys filter out any excess, but reduced function means magnesium can build up, leading to what doctors call hypermagnesemia. Symptoms of that include extreme drowsiness, muscle weakness, low blood pressure, and in severe cases, slowed heart rate. Now, that's rare, but it can happen if someone takes too much magnesium, especially alongside medications like diuretics or proton pump inhibitors. So if you ever feel profoundly weak, your heart feels heavy, or your reflexes seem slower than normal, that's not something to wait on. Get it checked immediately. But I don't want this to sound alarming. Magnesium glycinate itself isn't the problem. The problem is how it's used. When used properly, it's one of the safest and most beneficial supplements for heart, brain, and muscle health. So, how do you make sure you're using it the right way? Start low. If you've never taken magnesium before, begin with 100 to 150 milligrams daily for a week. See how your body responds, how you sleep, how your energy feels, how your digestion reacts. Then, if all feels well, you can gradually move up to 200, 300 milligrams. Your body thrives on gradual change, not sudden shifts. And consistency is more powerful than quantity. Taking a moderate dose every day is far better than taking a large dose occasionally. Now, you might wonder, are there specific people who should avoid magnesium glycinate altogether? Yes, there are a few cases. If you have severe kidney disease, or if you're on medications that slow magnesium excretion, like certain diuretics or heart drugs, it's best to consult your doctor before supplementing. Also, if you're undergoing treatment that affects your electrolytes, like chemotherapy or long-term antibiotic use, you should have your levels monitored regularly. But for most healthy adults over 50, magnesium glycinate, used correctly, is remarkably safe and effective. I often tell my patients, the goal isn't just to take magnesium. It's to help your body use magnesium. And your body can only use it when your lifestyle, diet, hydration, and timing are all aligned. In the final part, we'll bring everything together. The smart, safe, and truly effective way to make magnesium glycinate part of a long-term health plan that supports your heart, your brain, and your longevity. Because when used right, magnesium doesn't just help you sleep. It helps you age well. Stay with me. Part 5 will show you how to put it all into practice the right way every day. So now that we've gone through the timing, the lifestyle factors, and the warning signs, let's bring it all together. How to take magnesium glycinate the right way, safely, effectively, and in a way that truly supports your body's health after 50. Let's start with the mindset. Magnesium isn't a quick fix supplement. It's more like fuel for a long journey. The quiet element that keeps hundreds of your body's processes running smoothly in the background. It's the spark that allows your muscles to contract and relax, your heart to keep rhythm, your nerves to communicate, and your brain to rest. When you understand that, you start to approach magnesium differently, not as a pill to pop before bed, but as a rhythm your body learns to dance with. If you're a man over 50, here's the reality. Your body's magnesium needs have changed. Your digestive system doesn't absorb it as efficiently. Your stress levels might be higher. You're probably taking 1 or 2 medications that influence how your kidneys handle minerals. And your sleep, energy, and recovery patterns have shifted. That means magnesium glycinate isn't optional anymore. It's foundational. But the how and when matter more than ever. So, here's a clear, science-backed framework you can follow, simple, sustainable, and aligned with how your body actually works. Step 1, find your magnesium window. For most men, that window is between 6:30 and 8:30 p.m. That's when your body is naturally winding down. Cortisol levels are dropping and melatonin is starting to rise. Taking magnesium glycinate in this window allows it to begin working gently, calming your nervous system, relaxing your muscles, and preparing your brain for quality sleep. If you take it too early, say mid-afternoon, you might feel sluggish. Too late, right before bed, and you might still be digesting it when you're trying to sleep. So, that early evening window is ideal. Step 2, pair it with a light, magnesium-friendly meal. You don't want a heavy dinner that slows digestion. A simple meal with lean protein, vegetables, and healthy fats is perfect. Avoid large amounts of calcium, rich dairy, or alcohol around the same time. Then, Take your magnesium glycinate about 30 minutes after eating. That's the sweet spot for absorption. Step 3, stay hydrated. Always take your magnesium with a full glass of water. If you've been active during the day or had caffeine, make sure you've replenished fluids before your evening dose. This supports your kidneys and helps magnesium reach your muscles and nerves effectively. Step 4, be consistent, not aggressive. The biggest mistake people make is chasing fast results. They double their dose, hoping to sleep better or recover faster. But magnesium works best through accumulation. A steady daily rhythm builds up your stores safely and predictably. Aim for 200 to 300 milligrams daily for most men, adjusting only if recommended by your healthcare provider. Step 5, support it with lifestyle balance. Magnesium doesn't work in isolation. It's part of a trio with potassium and calcium, and it's supported by vitamin D3 and vitamin K2. Keep your diet balanced with fruits, vegetables, seeds, and nuts. Avoid too much processed food or excess caffeine. And whenever possible, spend time in natural sunlight. It boosts your vitamin D levels naturally, helping magnesium work more efficiently. Now, here's something people don't talk about enough: the connection between magnesium and longevity. Studies show that people with higher magnesium intake tend to have lower risks of heart disease, better insulin sensitivity, and even improved brain function as they age. Magnesium supports blood vessel flexibility, reduces inflammation, and protects mitochondrial health, the energy engines inside your cells. So, when you take magnesium correctly, you're not just improving your sleep tonight, you're protecting your future health. You're helping your heart stay strong, your mind stay clear, and your body stay resilient. Now, let's talk about a few simple daily practices that amplify magnesium's benefits. First, start your day with movement. Light exercise in the morning, a brisk walk, stretching, or light resistance work helps your body regulate blood sugar and blood pressure, making magnesium more effective later in the day. Second, manage stress deliberately. Even 5 minutes of quiet breathing, mindfulness, or prayer before dinner lowers cortisol. That not only helps you feel calm, but also improves magnesium absorption. Remember, stress burns magnesium. Calm restores it. Third, monitor your progress, but not just by how you sleep. Notice your energy levels during the day, your mood, your digestion, and even how your muscles feel after activity. Magnesium helps your body recover quietly, so improvements might show up subtly. Steadier focus, fewer headaches, deeper sleep, calmer mornings. Over time, those small shifts add up. Now, if you ever notice you're feeling overly sedated, groggy, or lightheaded, that's a sign to lower your dose slightly or shift timing earlier. Magnesium should feel like support, not sedation. And if you ever introduce a new supplement, especially calcium, vitamin D, potassium, or a prescription medication, revisit your magnesium schedule. Your body is dynamic, and its needs evolve with age, lifestyle, and diet. Ultimately, magnesium glycinate isn't just about relaxation. It's about restoration. It helps restore what modern life, stress, processed food, long work hours, and sleepless nights slowly drains away. And the best part, when used properly, it does so gently, naturally, and without side effects. I've seen men in their 60s and 70s regain steady energy, better sleep, and sharper focus, not because they took more supplements, but because they started taking the right ones the right way. So if you take one message from this, let it be this: never underestimate the quiet power of balance. Don't take magnesium glycinate at random or just because you heard it's good for you. Take it with intention. Take it with respect for how your body actually works. And above all, don't fall into the trap of thinking more is better. Precision always beats excess. When magnesium works with your biology, it helps you thrive with better sleep, a calmer mind, and a stronger heart. But when you force it or ignore your body's signals, that same supplement can backfire. So, use it wisely. Take it at the right time, in the right amount, with the right habits, and it can truly change the way you age. I always say longevity isn't about living longer. It's about living better for longer. And magnesium, when used correctly, is one of the simplest, safest, and most powerful ways to help make that happen. Thank you for watching. Take care of your body, listen to what it tells you, and as always, stay curious, stay informed, and stay healthy.